it capitalizes on your anxiety, your depression. Another thing, he's like, it's already overtaken that, and that is the bigger problem. I think when it's all said and done, we're gonna look at like, you know what, dude, internet on the go is where we really lost that freedom, American, I'm alone with my thoughts feeling. And I feel like once we start to yearn for it, I worry it'll be too late. Welcome back to the program where you're under an hour now away from a $1,000 Rock the Bank keyword. I'll get that passed out at 9. A story that went pretty viral last week, a little bit of this one too, and I didn't really get into it much, was Red Lobster is filing for bankruptcy. This has been linked to their endless shrimp promotion. Now, Red Lobster's not the only restaurant that's ever used a promotion like this. But the restaurant game is tough business right now. It's always tough business. People think, you know, there's a ton of money in it. The margins are thin. And you got to make sure you maximize it. And again, this is being linked to the endless shrimp promotion. I have seen videos online of people ordering the endless shrimp, admitting to it, and saying, we're letting our kids eat it. And the waiter or waitress walks up, server, let's just go with server. Don't have it be gendered, Stansbury. Oh my God, does he not know what year it is? Not allowed to do that. Of course, people dare you, and they're going to TikTok talking about how they were persecuted against. No, you were abusing a system. They said, well, we're just trying to feed our families. It's like, guys, you knew the system. Come on. You got caught. Pay the thing and be done with it. We've all done it at a restaurant. If you get caught, pay the fee and move on. It's not them persecuting you. It was some of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen with that, right? And so they have been listed as filing for bankruptcy because this promotion did not necessarily pull them back out of the fire, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting. I would have to admit that I was not necessarily a regular Red Lobster patron as a person who did enjoy it when I went. It's one of those places, my mom likes it, so when Sue's in town, we go, right? And I will say that if they're doing the endless thing, I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe, kind of want to do that. Seafood's one of those things for me. Like crab legs, I know it's the endless shrimp, but like crab legs is the thing I won't order in a restaurant unless it's an all-you-can-eat situation. I just feel like that's the only way I'm really going to get what it is I'm looking for, right? That's just me as a patron. I mention it because another chain restaurant is going to do this on the heels of hearing it bankrupted another chain. Buffalo Wild Wings is doing an all-you-can-eat wing and fry deal, apparently. They will offer you all-you-can-eat deal on boneless wings and fries. This will be Monday and Wednesday. They say limited time on this, right? Now, even before inflation and like all of this stuff and price gouging and record profits and even before all of this stuff, I remember a couple of years ago, chicken wings just started to become more money. This is even pre-pandemic. Like they were just starting to get like really expensive pretty much everywhere, right? Wing nights used to be 10 cents, and then all of a sudden it's like, dude, 50 cents a wing? What are we doing here, right? And they kind of became one of those really just expensive things to kind of eat out. People love them. I am on that list of people who love wings. They're delicious. But Buffalo Wild Wings is going to give you boneless wings and fries every Monday and Wednesday. This will be $20 for a limited time. $19.99, because if they say 20, too much. $19.99, bargain. Like, that's welcome to the psyche. You'll be able to get it now through July 10th, and is available at Buffalo Wild Wings restaurants nation. I necessarily have to do that for you. You're able to go to buffalowildwings.com or whatever the hell the website is and figure that out for yourself. So limited time then to me. From now till July 10th, that doesn't feel like that long. You know, I'll bag on guys like John Taffer a lot because, well, I mean, but one of the things he does say is the more you give a 2-for-1 promotion, the more you push out high end. You know what I mean? Like, I think there are people who like Buffalo Wild Wings who aren't necessarily looking to eat as many wings as they possibly can, who are thinking to themselves, all right, well, I'm going on Tuesday and Thursday when they're not doing that, right? Like, there are going to be those people. You're going to see more B-dubs TikToks than ever. Oh my God, it's all you can eat. I'm going to get all 26 sauces. Hey, bye, followers. And by the way, your nearest location, here, click the tab. Don't forget to subscribe. While sitting at a B-Dubs, using the Go Wings promo code again online on that. It seems like giving that's who's ordering that. 50 nuggets is pretty much the same thing as a bucket of chicken, which we've been, what I said it's been linked to this endless shrimp promotion, right? And that's not inaccurate. It has been linked to that, not necessarily that being the root cause. And I said, look, I didn't talk this subject on the air. I didn't. And so what I'm meaning to say there is I did not investigate that as something to discuss on the program, long form, right? So a lot of you guys hit me up with this, and I appreciate it. That Red Lobster has filed for Chapter 11 protection, but the reports are that a hedge fund bought the company. What it did is it sold off the land and that Red Lobsters are located on, and then leased the land back to Red Lobster, jacked up the rent, so we know just so everybody knows what's happening. Yeah, that happens all the time. all the time. I'm willing to bet that there is some truth in that. And that sounds way more likely than, hey, we let people have all the shrimp they wanted and now we're closed, right? Like it actually sounds like those two things went hand in hand almost. Now you could, if you wanted to push back against this theory, what you could say is, well, if you're not charging enough for your food, you can't afford the rent. I mean, there is a way. You know, it always felt a little like, really? Like this is the only reason they're out of business or filing for Chapter 11, not out of business. Those are very separate things. They're very different things is what I mean to say. They're different things there. So yeah, I could absolutely see that. There's another restaurant issue. And I had said I believe this was going to be true of some restaurant workers, not all. But a restaurant association is now saying that their workers are telling them, we don't want higher wages. We don't. We want better tips. And I said, look, where I have served and bartended is not necessarily the best type of place to set a baseline for what servers want or what they get or what have you. I worked concert venues. We were sold out 5-6 nights a week. We were packed 6-7 deep every night. And even if people didn't tip well overall for the crowd, there were enough people to make up for it by the end of the night. And I made a lot of money serving. Some of the same tools you will use in here, you will use behind a bar. It's charm and disarm. By the way, that's most businesses, right? And that goes into that. When I was in a good mood and felt like I wanted to be a server and wanted to, you know, I could pour it on a little and I could watch those tips come in, right? Ladies, this part's going to sting a little, but it is true. That group of hot women that and they all talk about it, they all, just those other 9 hoes, get treated like queens everywhere they go. So I was like, you're my customer, right? And then I just, look, there's tricks to every business, right? You could do it with the guys too, right? It was a thing. It was like, if you feel like, dude, this is the person that doesn't get enough attention. Hey, how you doing, man? Who you here to see? What are you looking for tonight? Oh, yeah, man, they're pretty good. What can I get you? PBR? Yeah, man, I got that right here, right? And then next thing you know, you got a little bit of a relationship with somebody. It's how it works, right? There's something in that. And I said, you could have raised my hourly rate $15 and then messed with the tips, and I'd have been like, I'm out of here. What are we doing here? Right? Now, again, I worked different places. It's been a long time since I've worked in a corporate chain restaurant. I don't necessarily know how it would go in there. Right? I can't walk you through that experience as I don't have one recent. I was bartending as recently as working here. When I started here, I had 3 bartending jobs I was still doing. I only quit bartending, by the way. I miss bartending. I totally miss bartending. I only quit it because I was driving Friday. I would leave here. I would drive back up to Cleveland, stay at somebody's house. I would bartend Friday, Saturday night. Then I would come home Sunday, middle of the night, try to get to bed, and then wake up, do the shows, and then I would go back up there, and then I would work, and I was splitting my time. And it hit me one day. I was like, I'm not spending enough time in Canton. My life isn't progressing. I'm not meeting people. I don't have the connections. I could feel the straddling of the fence. I got to be done doing this. And so I quit. And then, but one of the reasons I quit was, and I've told this story, we went from you got tipped per bar you worked at. Well, why not? She can't handle this bar. Exactly. So she doesn't get my money. Right? And so I was like, and look, I said, I full on admitted. If I didn't have this job, was I going to sit there and still do that? Yeah, because it was still going to be way more than enough money for what, honestly, how hard that job was. Again, that job was busy. But it wasn't necessarily hard. Serving's harder than people think it is. The physical part of the job is not all that much, although, dude, you're banging your knees and elbows into bar boxes all night, and like this is it does you know, your ankles hurt at the end of the night, your feet hurt. It's harder than people think it is. But the physical part of the job isn't what's difficult. What's difficult is dealing with you and I. I'm the customer. I have the money. I'll snap my fingers to come get you. I'll do this. I'll do that. And it was like, that was the hard part. Having a day job in bartending was like, I can punch you in the mouth and lose this job and it won't matter. And so that when I realized I was getting there, I was like, it's time to go. Like, it's time to go. But I understand how some people in certain serving situations are like, what are we doing here? Dude, you take me to $15 an hour, I'm going to lose money. And it's not going to be everybody. And that's where the tipping conversation is going to get very, very tricky. Also, I think the internet is going to change it. We have, again, what I've said about the internet is this. Subjects used to kind of come up and then they would disappear. Social media makes them hover. Like, we kind of stay on them longer now, certain conversations. And I think the more, I'm a travel influencer, hello friends, right? And like that whole thing. As more and more people are doing that and pointing out, when you go to Greece, you don't tip. When you go to Italy, you don't tip, and this and that. Look, the service is still great. The restaurant prices are still within line and all of this. America's got this hustle culture and this. I think we're going to see a change in that. And I think one of the changes, we already talked about it earlier, is I think you will see less human servers over time. We've already seen some companies rolling out like those little cubes for delivery food that are motorized. Sorry, a little bit of a burp there. And, you know, kind of a restaurant association group says, dude, our workers are telling us, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're going to end up losing money. We need to be selling the message. People need to be tipping more. And this, and I had predicted this. This is one of those things, dude, where the people who are doing it aren't bitching about the tipping. It's people who go into restaurants and go, this corporation isn't right. You need to treat your people better. Meanwhile, the server's out back behind the restaurant, huffing down a Newport, counting out $400, $500, $600 a day. We'll get back into the restaurant conversation next hour, as I have here what is, I'm being told, a list of the best patios to drink on here in our area. We'll get to that. I got to admit, I love drinking on a patio. Day drinking on a patio just feels right. It puts you in that vacation mode thing. Am I supposed to be doing this? Like, it's kind of one of those, and I do enjoy that. Absolutely love it. So we will get into that. One of the hard parts of my job, not that it is all that difficult, is these days, though, you got to double check something like 4 times. Like, dude, is that real? That's not real. Is that real? Oh my God, it is real? Like that, you know, that happens a lot. It happened to me this morning, as a matter of fact, as I was it was talking about this new thing Uber wanted to roll out and walk you to your destination. I was like, that's not real. Like, there's no way they're doing that, right? And so sure enough, I looked it up and it wasn't real. I was like, okay. I mention it because apparently this is real. This written by Jamie Jacob from Oklahoma State University. They're saying here, electric air taxis are on the way for not just package delivery. You and I will